Greetings, friends. This evening, what we're going to do is simply walk through the remaining assignments that we have for EDU 808. We have Module 3, Module 4, and your literature review. Now, I know your literature review has been ongoing throughout the semester. We've had a few different checkpoints. We've had a variety of different things. But as we near the end of the semester, one of the things that we're going to need to do is to make sure that whenever we get to the end of the semester, you've got your literature review in a final draft form. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be finalized for your dissertation, but it should be robust enough to get you into that mode of research eventually related to your dissertation. The literature review final draft is going to be due on Monday, December the 8th, submitted through Blackboard as a standalone document, meaning that not a link. Submitted as a PDF, submitted as a Word document, submitted however you would like, but it needs to be submitted within Blackboard for that particular assignment. That link for your final literature review draft that's due on December the 8th is available in the DET Milestone Literature Review section of Blackboard. What I'll also be asking you to do whenever you submit that is also send a copy to your advisor, not for grading purposes, but simply to keep them apprised of how you are moving forward in your process of creating your literature review. So keep that in mind. And again, I emphasize your literature review does not have to be in a final form for your dissertation. It is intended to be a growing, evolving document, but it needs to be beginning to be able for you to use it moving forward. If you would like to chat about your literature review, send me an email. Include 2 or 3 different dates and times when you're available to talk, and I will look to schedule an appointment so that we can chat about your literature review. Moving back into then Module 3. Module 3, as it's listed in Blackboard, has a total of 3 activities you're going to be creating. One is a synchronous learning activity that is for you to create. Okay. One is an asynchronous learning activity using an object or tool as is listed in there as perhaps articulate. And one is an annotation or discussion activity, perhaps with perusal or video ant or now comment. These do not have to be expansive in nature, but the 3 activities should be on relatively the same topic. They should be able to be completed by students. And once you have the 3 activities ready, you're going to create a screencast tour of the 3 activities to tell us about what it is you built. So for your screencast, that is all it's going to be, or it could be through Zoom or webcast, or it could be through a variety of different strategies. I would ask that you go ahead and just give an overview in your screencast tour of the 3 activities for the learning objective that you're building and how you approached it as an interactive learning object, as an annotation or discussion activity, and then as a synchronous learning activity as described in the instructions. For what it is you're going to be submitting, you're going to provide me with your 3 activities and your overview screencast. In your screencast, in addition to giving the overview of the 3 activities, you should also talk a little bit about, well, the learning outcome that you're aiming to support. What synchronous tools did you use, and how did you find them working for you in your situation? And for both your synchronous and asynchronous activities. And then you're going to make sure that it is available for me to review, meaning not in a password protected domain, so to speak. Make sure that whatever document you submit for that and or your recording does not need me to have access to a password. Our third topic this evening is Module 4. Now, Module 4, we can see, or you can describe it as an extension of Module 3. In Module 3, you build your 3 activities and talk about them and provide some overview information. In Module 4, we're going to ask you to take a little bit of time and reflect on your activities with respect to the idea of using the Oscar document that's posted in the activity or in the assignment, as well as a template for exploring the RSI component of your particular activities. So what you're going to do for Module 4 is this. You're going to look at your activities, and having revisited them, those 3 activities, using the Oscar tool, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and complete section 1, 2, and 3 of the Oscar document that's included in the instructions, as well as at the bottom of the document, I'm going to ask you to write a brief reflection, about 750 words or so, describing your own reflection on the project, as we would say, as it relates to regular and substantive interactions, as it relates to the Oscar principles that you've evaluated yourself on, principles of what we might refer to as critical instruction design, and basically in equitable instructional design. That's not a long written work. 750 words is not that large. So as you're looking at it, think about the things you would want to say about your activities and about the pieces we're asking you to reflect on. Keep something in mind as you go through this activity. While you're not required to cite specific authors or resources from the course readings or the videos or the podcasts that are listed for you to look at each week, I'm going to ask that you be careful in your work and avoid plagiarism as you move through. Make sure the ideas that you represent as yours are yours. And if they are somebody else's, please give them credit as you move through the project. The requirements for the project in its sum total are going to be that the requirements for this activity is to provide the copy of your Oscar document with your completed review of your project by completing sections 1, 2, and 3. And when I ask you to complete the attached template documenting regular and substantive interaction, rename it with your name and include that. Your activities, activity 1, 2, and 3, as we look at them, are from module 3. You do not need to re-include those and submit them with your work. If you're more comfortable submitting them, you're welcome to. But as I'll have access to looking at module 3, as I'm going through module 4, we'll go ahead and I'll make use of doing it that way. So that's going to be where we're at. We've got module 3 coming up, due on November 17th. We have module 4 coming up, due on December the 8th. And we also have the literature review due on December the 8th. If you find that you get into a situation where you need some extra time, please reach out to me. Don't stress. Reach out. Let's figure out a plan to move things forward. And as always, if you need to get in touch with me, please send me an email or give me a phone call. Let me know if you have any questions or how we can work together to make the last part of this semester an opportunity for success for you moving forward. Have a great day. Take care.